Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. My name is Kaylee and I am an INFJ 9 Wing 1. So today I am interviewing Hannah, my sister-in-law, who is an INFP 4 Wing 3, self-preservation type. Before we get into the video, I hope that you will subscribe and leave a comment. Tell me a little bit about yourself. I'd love to get to know you. Check out my website. It's going to be in the description box below, and my Instagram is also going to be in the description. So I hope to see you guys around, and I'd love to meet with you, have an appointment with you. But other than that, let's just get into it.
Hi everybody. I just wanted to say really quick that anyone who watches this video, the Enneagram is not your personal way to God. The only way to God is Jesus, and it's easy to use the Enneagram to become really self-centered and to become obsessed with yourself and then type people and just say, oh, well, I don't even need to know that person because I know that they're a 5, and that's just not nice. So if you're using the Enneagram to get to know your family and your friends and love them better, then that's awesome, and just don't go and get weird about it, guys. You don't need to make it weird. Make it nice, make it happy, like this video. Yeah. Yes.
First question we're going to get into is, how did you discover your type?
Well, I had never heard of the Enneagram even being a thing ever until you came over that one day with the paper chart thing, and I read it and I was like, this is okay. And then I was looking into it a little bit and I just read over each type, and I thought I was a 5 because I really do like the intake of new information. I think it's fun, but yeah, the more I learned about it, I was like, no, I'm definitely not a 5. You confirmed that for sure. You're like, you're not a 5. And I was like, yep, I'm a 4. And the more I went into it, the more I realized it was like a, oh yeah, that's me kind of thing. The more I learned about it.
Yeah. And I remember thinking you were a 7, and I was, maybe Hannah's a 7. You're like either like an INFP or an ENFJ. You're a 7. And but I wasn't for sure about it. I just kind of had that idea, and you invited me to a baseball game, and we talked about all of our feelings, and they were deep, dark feelings, and you invited them. You did not run away, and I was, oh gosh, no, I'm not a 7, not a 7. No.
No 7s here. I want the feelings. I want the deepness. I must know, Kaylee. Tell me your stories. Tell me your secrets.
Okay, Hannah, how do you see your Wing 3 in your everyday life?
I definitely like to win. I like to be the best. I can be competitive about the things that I care about. If it's something that I don't care about, it's like, whatever, you can win. It doesn't matter. I can be really hard on myself. And then kind of like a 3, I do, when I'm not healthy, seek validation from other people, for sure. Like to say that I'm doing well and that I don't know, because it's hard for me to get that internally, that I am doing a good job and that I'm learning and that I'm growing as a person. And if someone else goes and says, hey, you're doing a really good job with whatever thing, it's a lot easier for me to go and be like, oh, okay. Thank you. I'm doing a good job. Thank you.
All right, Hannah, what do you consider to be your biggest achievement?
I would say something that I am really proud of, and this might sound conceited, but I'm not trying to.
It's an interview about you. It's okay.
Yes. So, But anyway, it's like, if I can leave someone better than I found them, that's something that really is important to me. I know that I've had an impact on a lot of people's lives, and I try to go and bring out the best in people if I can. If someone can say that they will remember me for what I did, and I try not to do bad things, so, they'll remember me for a good thing, that makes me happy, and I really consider that to be an achievement. I have my notes down here, so I'm not weird. Let's see. I don't know, I've been through some tough stuff in life, and one thing that I'm proud of is that I didn't let myself get hardened. Like, I didn't harden my heart. Not really change myself, but like build up walls, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think it's a strength to be able to wear your heart on your sleeve, and if your heart gets broken or some people just don't care about you and people are mean to you, and you don't become this hard, mean, oppressive person, then I think that's good, because don't let those people change you. You know what I mean? That's not right. Be the soft, kind, little squishy you that you are, and yeah, that's good. And then my last one, what is my last one? I had another one. I don't remember what my last one was. Oh yeah, no, it's only 2. Sorry, 2. I thought you said 3.
Oh, your best 3 qualities.
Best 3 qualities.
That's
No,
next.
those are my 2. Yep, that's it. Those are my 2.
Your biggest achievement? And
I think those 2. Yeah. Let's go to the next question.
They're the same thing?
No, they're separate things.
Okay.
The help people, and then the rough things in life.
Okay.
I'm gonna say those.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what are your 3 best qualities?
Best qualities.
3 best qualities.
3 best qualities. I'm very philosophical. I can find a deeper meaning in almost anything. I think you can attest to that. And then
It's not just apple pie.
it's not. It means more, Kaylee.
Yeah. Somebody made me something. It's not just this piece of junk. I must keep it forever.
Special.
Yeah.
Special box. And then I can find, when I'm healthy, I can find the beauty in a lot of things. In the apple pie, they made it for me because they care about me and because they love me, and this apple pie means more than just an apple pie. So that's something. I'm putting those together as one. I'm very empathetic. This kind of goes back to my last one. I can be really, really empathetic, almost to a fault sometimes. Where I can go, it's different from putting myself in people's shoes and being able to figure out why they did something. It's more like being able to just go and say, I don't know, because it's different than what you do. I don't really know how to explain it. You can put yourself in people's shoes and see why they did something. And I can be empathetic, but somehow it's different. I don't know how to say it.
I think
it's not good for an interview.
Empathy is true empathy. And it's like, Hannah, I'm going through something. I have this going on in my life, and you're just like, you're going to be there. You're going to want to like have me talk through it, and you're going to be there crying with me.
Yes.
Where if somebody came to me and they're going through something, I would be very much like, oh, I'm very sorry for you, and I feel for you, and that's very serious. What are we going to do to make that stop? Or
yes, more problem fixing, problem
Yeah.
solving.
I think that could have something to do with I'm a doing type and you're a feeling type.
That makes
But
sense.
I'm very much more like, okay, that's really bad that those things happened. Let's make a plan to make sure like you can get through this well, and you know, it won't happen again if at all possible, and how you can deal with it. And you're like, you don't need to deal with it right now. Understand like what you're even dealing with. Yeah, I think you're very good at like stopping, staying still, and looking at what's truly going on in a situation, where I'm like, okay, let's see the situation. Okay, now let's go.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And we have cried together before, and I've gone to you and you've said, okay, let's fix the problem, and it works out because you need both kinds, and it's good. I live by my beliefs and values. I really am not the kind of person to, if this thing that I care about or this thing that I think is important is going to be difficult and it's going to make my life more difficult, to just go and say, oh, well, whatever, I don't really care. If I believe it and I care about it, then I'm going to do it. And that is what I can't stand, when someone believes something and then they're just kind of like, oh, well, whatever.
Doesn't change anything for me.
Yeah, it doesn't change anything for me. I'm just going to keep living my life like I did before. It's like, no, if you believe it and if you care about it, then you need to act on it. And I definitely take my beliefs and values into account in pretty much everything I do. What are those eyes? Oh my gosh. I do.
Yeah, and I mean, talking with other 4s and just other people. I mean, talking with other people, you'll find like the other types. There's a few types that are really good at knowing what they believe and going full force towards it and staying true to it. But I think most of us, I know a lot of 9s, we kind of struggle with the, well, do I believe it? Does it matter what I believe? At what point does it kind of not even matter? What does it matter what I believe? How is it going to change anything? Where I know you definitely spend a lot more time, like you said, philosophical, spend a lot more time, and you enter a new situation and kind of see maybe your first thought is kind of, what do I think about this?
Yes, definitely.
And what impact does this have on me? What role do I play in this? And I think some of the rest of us might kind of walk into a new situation and be like, what am I supposed to do? Not so much even what do I think about it? Do I even want to be a part of it? Or is kind of question the whole kind of system a little bit more.
And I think that's good, because we've been able to help each other in that way, in that I've gone and been able to help you in that, what do you think about this thing, Kaylee? And you've gone and helped me in going and saying, Hannah, just because you don't agree with every single facet of this thing doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. You can chill about it. So it's balanced out very well.
Yeah.
Sisters.
Yeah. Okay, next question. When do you feel the most insecure and the most confident?
When I feel the most confident, I would say when I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the people in my life love me and care about me and want the best for me. I know, at least for me, that I question a lot. We were just talking about this. I question everything, and I question whether the people who are around me actually care about me. You tried to be friends with me for a really long time, and I was like, no, Kaylee doesn't actually want to be my friend. Kaylee's lying. And it's not a thing where I'm trying to go and say I don't trust Kaylee.
I'm pretty despicable.
I'm like, oh gosh, can you see? I can't even sit near you. But it's like I just cannot believe I have a hard time believing that people actually do want something good, or are trying to be nice, or are really being kind and don't have an ulterior motive. I think it's probably being raised by 2 6s. But that's definitely something that I struggle with. I'm going on a caveat. 4s, something that I learned that's really, really good is to assume love. A girl in a video said that, and it really helped me a lot. So assume love. Your friends who are trying to be your friends actually do want to be your friends, and they do actually care about you. So assume love. It's good for you. When I have something in my head, my perfect idealism, and my idealism is being translated into actual life. I could be working on a project. I could be going somewhere and it went beautifully. I could have the ideal in my head and it actually happened, and I didn't even do anything to make it happen. That is so satisfying, and it's wonderful.
So perfect. The best feeling.
Perfect. Yes, it's so good. When I am connected to something like some pure beauty, like if I can go into the woods. Yeah. If I can go into the woods and there's no garbage around, and I can't see any telephone wires, and there's no, like, I'm not under like a flight pattern, and there's no planes ruining my view. If it's just perfect and natural and pure and unadulterated, I love it. It makes me happy. It makes me feel at peace. That is my so good.
Good feeling.
Yes. When I am able to be a part of something that's bigger than myself, when I feel like something that I'm doing goes beyond me, that's really important, and I think it keeps us from being self-centered and being narcissistic, because I think a lot of 4s can do that, because we're so awesome.
You're not allowed to
obviously.
say that. You're not allowed to say that on here.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
people
sorry.
might get mad if you tell them.
I know, don't get mad. I love you, but don't love yourself too much because it's bad. And when I am with someone who appreciates me for who I am, and I can trust that they actually do, and when I'm fighting or furthering a cause that I am passionate about, those are when I feel my most secure in myself and confident. When I'm most insecure, it's pretty much just the opposite. If I'm being forced to do something or be someone or pretend to care about something that I don't, I hate it. I don't want to be there. I think I can be a pretty good actor, but I'm definitely not fooling myself, and I hate it. When I am in a place that isn't beautiful, or I don't have an outlet of something beautiful that I can just get to, that's really, really hard. When I am in my beautiful outlet, if I did find one, and it gets ruined, that happened yesterday, it devastated me, I hated it. When what I have in my head is not translating into what I'm making, that happened recently when I made a project for you, and I was so upset because I had my perfect idea and it didn't work. My equipment wasn't cooperating and my equipment failed me, and I was so sad. You liked it though, so it was okay.
Yes,
but
this
I was
5
really
month
sad.
project.
5-month project. I work very slowly, so yeah. I
Don't know.
procrastinate a lot. I'm sorry.
Well, thinking about something that just didn't work out, that's difficult to handle. Your trip to Greece got canceled.
Yes.
So Hannah was supposed to go to Greece for a Christmas present, but due to the whole coronavirus, it got canceled. And
Yes.
I mean, it's difficult for you to even be like upset about it because other people are like, yeah, the reason you can't fly is because people are dying.
Yeah.
But you're
How
like,
dare you go and think about that and be
Yeah.
upset for yourself? You're not dead.
Yeah.
Rude.
It's like, okay, but I'm kind of, is it okay if I say I'm sad? Like, so.
Definitely was sad. When I haven't had a win in a while, like if your trip to Greece gets canceled and then your project that you've been working on doesn't go well and just your pretty place got ruined and you just haven't had like something happen, you haven't had a break for a while, that's really hard. It can be that's when it's hard to find the beauty, is when you're despairing because nothing good has happened for a while. That's rough. That's why I think it's hard to be a wing 3, is because I need that outside stuff. I can't bring about the beauty from myself. It takes a lot of effort. I need outside stimulation and outside validation in order for me to be like, oh, okay, life is good sometimes. I'm working on it. But
And the 4 is a withdrawn type, and the 3 is an assertive type, and they're both in the feeling group. So 4/5s, I already did the interview with the 4/5. She, just talking to her, it's been very similar, but I mean, she's a lot more reserved. It could be because we weren't doing it in person, but I mean, you very much have this like 3 charismatic, very inviting, charming personality, especially when you're making your first impression. And I think when you have both of your feet in one group, it's sometimes difficult to get away from some of the things that a certain group is prone to having.
Yeah.
So like needing kind of outside validation is sort of a shame type kind of thing. And since you have both feet in that, it's more difficult. And I'm a 9. I mean, I'm right in the middle of the anger group. So, I mean,
you gotta worry about her. She's got murder vibes, serious murder vibes.
Can't you tell? But with both feet in the shame group, you might have those kind of more of an intensity towards those things, where like my brother Harrison, who's a 5/4, he has one foot in the thinking group and one foot in the feeling group, but
balances out a little bit more.
Yeah, but it's 2 withdrawn types. So I mean, we were joking, and he was saying, yeah, I'm either withdrawn, or assertive. And as a 4, I mean, it's similar, except you have that assertive wing. So you're withdrawn, assertive, and then you go to compliant.
It's great, isn't it? It's great.
It's
great, yeah.
What does your inner critic tell you?
This is my favorite question. Yay. Okay, I will be honest, guys. I am not at my healthiest right now, so this might be kind of sad. But I'm being honest, because I'm not going to lie to you. So,
Thank you.
yes. So my inner critic definitely tells me that I'm flawed. Absolutely tells me that I am flawed. It tells me that I am unlovable. It tells me that I am of lesser value or of no value compared to other people. That the people who seem to care are lying, that you don't really want to be my friend. that I am responsible for all of the bad things. I caused coronavirus. All of the bad things in my life are because of my own fault. I ate the bat. I ruined my trip to Greece. It's all my fault. I am sorry. That the people who I love would be better off without me and my very stormy feelings. And that I have no future because I am so flawed that my future will be terrible. That's what it tells me. It's pretty mean. It's pretty harsh, and it's worse when you go and you have a reputation for being honest with others and being honest with yourself, that if you are being extra mean with yourself because you haven't had a win in a while, or because you are not in the best place and you're not the healthiest, it definitely can get a lot harder for you when you might actually be lying to yourself.
Yeah, and today actually I uploaded a video, what I've learned about being around type 4s, and
Watch it.
in that video I talked a little bit about one thing I've noticed is a lot of type 4s, they have a certain feeling about something and their feelings work to their advantage 80% of the time. Mm-hmm. But when it doesn't work out for you and you might have a hard time understanding, oh yes, this is just a feeling, and feelings don't constitute reality.
Yeah.
So when you feel like this person hates me, well, more likely it's not that they hate you, they probably don't even notice you. So malaria.
I know.
But understanding that a lot of times it's less about you than you might think it is, and you might have to talk to other people in your life to understand kind of what's going on a little bit more than just, I feel this way, therefore it is this way.
Yes.
And it might be like the worst thing in your life that you're going through right now. You feel like, you're losing these people in your life. You feel like you're being pushed away and you're disappointing these people. It could be solved with a simple conversation of, hey, I feel like I'm disappointing you constantly. Is that the case? If it is, what can I do to change it?
Yes. And I think, at least for me, I can think that I know a lot more than I actually know. And I can assume a lot of things. And a lot of the time I'm right, but a lot of the time I'm not. And things really aren't as terrible as I'm making them out to be. You know what I mean?
Next question. What keeps you up at night?
This is another... But anyway, it would just mostly be that my past mistakes, there's all the memes about when I was like 9 and I missed that goal in soccer and it was horrible and everyone was counting on me and I missed the shot and it was wide open. Stuff like that. I do not know how to let things go. It's really hard for me to let things go. So, and especially when I go and take on responsibility for all the bad things in my life, if something bad happened to me that could have just been a mean person being mean, I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I say the thing that I did? And what did I do to cause this? When it's really less about you than you think. I'm talking to me. It's less about you than you think, Hannah. And then just that the future that I want will never come about because of my flaws and problems. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah, it can be overwhelming, and it's I really enjoy doing these interviews because getting to see all the different types and the different wings, how differently everyone answers them, but like within the types, it's very similar, yet still a little bit different. But like when I asked my mom this, who's a 2, I said, what keeps you up at night? And it was my kids, worrying about my kids. All right, what is the best and worst feeling?
So this is my favorite question of all of the questions, because I love the feels, guys. But I put a lot of thought into it because there are a lot of best feelings and there are a lot of worst feelings. But I think that the best feeling is euphoria in the midst of beauty. And that I told my friend that I asked her what her best feeling was, and she was like, oh, I don't know. And then I said that, and she's like, that's not even a word. Stop saying that.
She's like, got a Taco Bell drive-thru at 2 a.m. Okay.
What are you talking about, Hannah? Can't you be normal? But no, like, when you're in there's the cat. And when you're in something so beautiful that you cannot handle it with your physical self, like, it's like you have to have an out-of-body experience, because where you are is so beautiful, so amazing. It's just how it's supposed to be. It could not be any better. And it's just perfect. And your mind and your body, and you're just like, I can't handle this. This is so amazing. I can't handle this. And it's like you have to leave yourself in order to handle it. And it's the best. It's the best. And sometimes it can just, like, everything seems hazy, and it's like time slows down.
And Hannah, you don't do drugs.
Good. I don't do drugs.
Exactly.
I don't. I am a normal person. I'm just
normal people do drugs. You're a non-normal
I'm
person.
A non-normal person. Yeah. And yeah, I seem like I do drugs, but I'm not drunk. I'm just a giddy person. That's the best. It's like, I don't know.
Just an overwhelming tears of joy, positive kind of moments in life.
Kinda. Like, an example is when I went to Italy, and I went to this museum, and I saw the David, and I saw all of these paintings that I've seen in books as a kid, and just seeing them and how beautiful they actually were, and recognizing that these people from history have gone and served the same God that I serve now, and they dedicated all this time and effort and work and money towards making this incredibly beautiful piece of art for him. And it's like, I can relate to that over the course of time, over the course of history, and that will go on. That was just so good. And then, I don't know, like, as a kid, when we would go outside, and we would go and get the Christmas tree. And I grew up in Colorado, so much snow, unlike here. And we would go out, and I would go one way, and my brother would go another way, and we would try to go find the perfect tree. And it was just like, you could just stop and look up, and the snowflakes would be falling down, and the sky would be cloudy, and it would be the perfect gray, and there was just like this little sparkling everywhere, and there's this soft silence, not like a cold silence like in caves. It's a soft, warm silence, even though you're cold.
Yeah, snow just absorbs all the sound.
And it's perfect, and it's wonderful, and you can stick your tongue out and get the snowflakes. Yeah, it's the best. It's the best, guys.
And now to rain on that parade, what's the worst feeling?
Disappointment. Disappointment is the worst feeling. It's hard. 4s are naturally, like, really hopeful people, I think. And it takes a lot of courage to hope. Because if you live in a world where you're constantly disappointed and you're still able to find hope, then you're doing well. But yeah, disappointment is hard. Disappointment hurts. A lot of things are disappointing. We can get disappointed in ourselves. We can get disappointed in experiences, especially when it seems like it could have been so easy for it to be perfect. But it's just not. And we need to learn that we don't live in heaven, and that it is okay that we don't live in heaven. But yeah, disappointment is big. And you just make it's like you do the hands, you're just like, if I had to do a motion for 4s, it would probably be like, that'd be it. Like, come on. It could have been so easy. It would have been.
Yeah, and what's funny is, 1s are the perfectionist, and 2s and 3s and 4s, well, really 3s and 4s are very idealistic.
Yeah.
And if you talk to a 3, a 4, or a 1 and ask them, what does perfect look like? Mm-hmm. You're going to get very, very different answers, but they all have the idea of what perfect looks like. Mm-hmm. And, everybody has their own idea of perfect. So, trying to maybe, like the 7s, sample a little bit of everything and see which one, okay, maybe I can live with something else, or, that is kind of what a lot of people, if you want to go the long haul, you're going to have to understand, perfect might mean several different things. At least you get your perfect today. You know, I didn't experience perfect today. There's a bug in your hair.
My hair is not
No, there's a bug.
Oh, there actually was?
Yeah. Disappointment is hard.
Disappointment is really hard. And it's one thing that I would recommend for yesterday. Yesterday, right? I was very disappointed. My beautiful place got ruined. And I was sad, and I came home and I squeezed my cat. And that was really nice. And then I smelled my roses, and that was really nice. And then my neighbor came over, and she was really happy because she had just found out, now this isn't going to sound happy, but she had just found out that she had this genetic disease. And she was going and getting cured and treated for it. But she realized that this causes infertility. And she has 6 kids. And she didn't even know that she had this when she had her kids. But somehow, through miraculous means, she was able to have kids. And that's wonderful. And that's beautiful. And she has her children. And she loves them more than anything. And that was able to lift my mood. Because I was just, I was like, wow, that's wonderful, A good thing happened. A happy thing happened.
I've known some 4s that have been in like tougher times in life, that they're riding the wave and things are going poorly and they're just, yep, life sucks, this is how it is, it's bad. And then something good happens and they're nope, like deny the fact that good things are happening. And I think
I've done it.
If you are a 4, give yourself permission to experience all your emotions authentically. Be true to those happy feelings when they come. Don't be shutting those out because you're riding this wave and decide, I've been sad, so I'm going to keep being sad. Or I'm really angry, I'm going to keep being angry. Or even I'm really happy, I'm going to keep being happy. If you are preaching authenticity, actually be authentic even when it's inconvenient.
It's hard when you've gone and built up an idea, you know what I mean, that you feel like you need to hold to. Like, no, all these bad things have happened and it's not, there's nothing good. Everything sucks. Nothing's good. And when you've built that up in your head, it's hard to get out of that. Like you told me, when I was having like just waves and waves of not great things happening, and it just felt like I was just getting battered in the ocean and never getting to the top of the wave, just staying in the bottom and getting sloshed on. You were talking about neural pathways and how if you keep thinking that everything's bad, then you're gonna go build neural pathways in your head that say everything's bad, everything's bad, and then you're gonna kill the good happy ones that say, oh, maybe things are good. Boop, boop, boop.
Yeah, so the neural pathways in your brain, they build stronger connections the more you repeat the same activity over and over again, including thought patterns. So it works kind of like dominoes. And the more you think about something, the more likely you will be to think about this certain thing. That's why addiction is so easy. That's why addiction is so easy and so difficult to break, is because your brain literally becomes wired to be the way that it is. So yeah, when you were telling me how everything was bad and you just couldn't stop thinking about how everything was bad, I was like, yeah, there are some bad things. I've seen a bad thing once. But I mean, look at all these other good things. And you're like, yeah, but they're outshadowed by these bad things. I'm like, they are, but they still exist. But, just because it's 3/4 of the pie is bad, there's still 1/4 that's good. It still exists. Let's not
focus on that.
For the things you can't control that are bad, there's nothing you can do about it. There's really no point in letting yourself get damaged over it. Which kind of leads us into our next question. What do you like to do to unwind?
I would, again, I'm not at my healthiest right now, but I would like to say that I go to somewhere beautiful and I do something creative, or I read a book, or I just experience nature. But I kind of can be like everybody else and just kind of zone out and watch TikToks and just kind of numb myself for a while, because I mean, sometimes numbing yourself isn't good, but if you can just kind of zone out, it's hard to create the energy within yourself when you feel like everything else is trying to push you down, to create the energy within yourself to go and make something beautiful. It's really hard if you haven't found something beautiful to be able to pull energy from. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, inspiration, and just to be able to go and say, oh wow, that's really a great thing. I should also contribute a great thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I can watch a lot of TikToks. I can do that.
Watching The Office.
And The Office, again.
Days on end.
Yes. I mean, I did. But yeah, so it fluctuates depending on how you're doing in life, you know.
Can't have your food touching bathroom air. I'm sorry. Okay, how do you see yourself going to your health and stress points? So 4 goes to 1 in health and goes to 2 in stress. How do you kind of see that manifest in your life?
So going to 1, I had to give this a lot of thought. It's hard because to some people this might sound bad. So, but it's how I go to health. So I can't really, it's gonna sound bad, but this is how I go to health, so, you know.
Can't lie about it.
I can't lie. But it's like when I'm moving to 1, I get really, really driven. Really driven to where if I see a problem, I will go and fix it. Like my mom, I really hate seeing trash on the beach. I really hate it. And in all of this COVID drama, my mom, I would go and pick up trash, and my mom would be like, no, stop picking up the trash. And I'm like, if I die, then whatever. But at least there's less trash. I mean, there would be less trash if I'm dead. But no, I'm kidding. But if I go and it's a thing that I want to do, and if I just leave it, I hate it. That's something that keeps me up at night, is if I realize that I left something that I could have fixed. You know what I mean? Like today, something that I should have done, but I didn't, was there was an old lady who was picking weeds, and I drove by, and she was wearing a little old lady skirt, but it was a little bit hiked up in the back, and I don't think she realized. And I was going to do a U-turn and go all the way back to go and tell her, hey, old lady, we can see your underwear. But then I was like, no, I should just leave her alone and go home. And I left her alone and went home, and I felt bad, and I was
still
like,
thinking about
and
it.
I'm still thinking about it. This was after I went for my run at like, I don't know, I probably saw her at 10 a.m. And it's, what time is it now? 7? So
late.
yeah, so that's my thing when I'm moving towards health, is I really, really get driven. I see more things that need to be fixed, and I do my best to fix them. It can make me mad when I see all of the things that do need to be fixed. It can be really frustrating. So well, I get the anger of the 1 a little bit, I guess. I don't know.
Well, yeah, and you can get good and bad qualities from both types that you go to. So,
Sure.
And you can seek counsel, you know, get advice from the other numbers that you go to, and, you know, what would this type do in this situation? I have a direct connection to them. What would they do? But for the 1, I can see how, like, this project that you made for me, it did take a while, but it was perfect, and every aspect of it had to be how it was intended to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you were working on like 6 or 7 projects simultaneously when you're doing it, and I know you always are like glowing when you're doing something, always like gardening or working out in the yard, and like it has to look right, it has to be the right way, and I'm like, okay, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you set your mind to something, and you have an idea in mind, kind of how the 1 is perfectionistic. I think you very much go to that like perfectionistic kind of idea.
Yes.
But what about 2?
For 2, I have a really big thing about reciprocity. If I am giving you a gift, or I'm doing something for you, and you don't say thank you, or you don't seem like you appreciate it, or you don't get excited when I give you the gift or something like that, it's like, no.
Yeah.
If I go and I'm listening to you, and I really want to know you, and I want to know who you are and what makes you tick and what makes you you, and then you're just like, yeah, so that's me. Do you want to go and get hot dogs now? Like, no. And that was one thing that when we went to the baseball game, and I was like, I want to know you, Kaylee. Tell me who you are. And then you told me, and then the baseball game was over, but you asked me about myself. And I wasn't going and asking you about yourself just so I could have an opportunity to talk to them about myself later. But it shows that someone actually isn't a narcissist when they go and want to know you too. They do want to be your friend. That gives you evidence to show that they actually do want to be your friend. They actually do care about you, so that it won't keep you up at night.
Yeah, and I was just getting into the Enneagram when you and I went to that baseball game, and it was funny. I didn't know that I was a 9 at the time. I was still thinking I was a different type because I'm the union merging 9, and and I remember you asking me, "So, who are you?" And I was like, what do you mean? And you're like, well, tell me your life story. And I was like, a story? I can do that.
You told a very good story.
A very long saga that it was. But
it was a long baseball game.
Yeah.
So we needed it.
But I was like, well, you tell me your life story. And you're like, I asked first. I said, I can tell you a story, but who I am, oh my goodness, it's going to take me a while. Yes, not feeling that reciprocation. And I know 2s, their superpower is love and showing love and giving love and being loving. But just like every other type, whatever it is that kind of makes them who they are and is like what they're best at and their gift, a lot of times is the kryptonite and is what they kind of take out of the situation. So 7s bring joy when they're not doing well. They remove joy from a room. I talked about it in the manipulations video of the 7 who looks unhappy is like a 2. When they are showing love and they don't feel it in return, they withdraw love. I think that happens a little bit with the 4s. Going to 2, I've seen 2 different ways of. One, it's I do this lavish thing. I make you the exact perfect individual thing you couldn't find anywhere else. Here you go. And I go, cool, I guess. Then you're either remove love and, okay, I'm done. A lot of times that kind of thing happens. I'm not saying you specifically.
No, you're good.
Or I've seen similar situations where with a 4-3, a sexual 4, wing 3 that I knew would kind of rock the boat or push people away in all of her relationships, and kind of push and stir the pot and maybe poke where it hurt to see if she could get away with it, and then move to that 2 when she was feeling like she caused problems and be like, hey, I just did this thing for you. We're friends, right? And you're like, you just... Okay.
Are you serious?
Okay,
I think this is what friendship looks like.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I guess we're friends. And then you're like, all right, let me beat you up a little bit and be like, okay, look, we're friends. Moving to that 2 of like, I'm scared that I maybe damaged the relationship. And so, like, it can show up in different ways for different people.
I did something for my friend or something, and he was just like, oh, yeah, cool. And I was like, where is the enthusiasm? Where is the excitement? I know that this is cool because I think it's cool, and I'm super hard on myself. And if I think it's cool, you need to think it's cool. Why are you not excited? Be excited. And he just wasn't excited, and it just, that kills me, guys. It kills me because he just was like, yeah, cool. Let's go do something else. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like if you're going, and I guess it could kind of be manipulation because you're manipulating someone into being excited, and if they're not to your particular requirement and level of excitement that you want, then you get upset. Yeah, so I mean, then that's not fair. That's not fair, guys. I'm trying to learn how to do the right thing, to give gifts, to just for the sake of doing it, to go and love on someone for the sake of loving them, not in order to get love back. To go and make the perfect present that I'm proud of and give to someone, and then they are, whether they're excited or not, whether they like it or not. I worked hard, and that's how I showed them that I loved them. And whether they like it or not, they got love. So there you go. And just be satisfied in that.
And last question. What are you tired of hearing people say about type 4s?
I am tired of people saying, oh, that's because you're a 4, or you're such a 4, or that's because they're a 4. I just said that. I'm a person, you know. I am Hannah, and just because I happen to be this arbitrary number that someone decided a personality type similar to mine should be, does not mean that I no longer have any agency over my own choices, my own thoughts, my own actions, my own feelings. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I have those feelings, thoughts, and actions because I'm me, not because I'm a 4. That's really the worst.
Yeah, and I know something that my parents and I have talked about, and my sister and I have talked about a lot, is what part of you is, or what are your defining qualities that separate you from a personality? Mm-hmm. And I don't know, kind of what we were saying about it was, it seems like, yes, you have these compulsions. Most everyone who's a type whatever has the same kind of compulsion, but what makes you you is your conscious decision to act on it or not.
And this is kind of saying not necessarily about 4s, but to 4s, I guess, is that we're too sensitive. Being sensitive is a good thing. They have that HSP test, and I am a highly sensitive person. I got very high on the test. But
you
anyway,
got high on the test?
Yeah, I got high. But it's like, being sensitive is a good thing, because if you're not sensitive, that means you've been desensitized to life and you're numb to life. And I mean, maybe that's not necessarily true, but if you're watching people go
from your perspective, if you're not sensitive to life, you're numb to life.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, if there's something bad and people are just like,
bad,
that's bad, or even if they don't say it's bad, and then this sensitive person comes and they're like, oh my gosh, that's disturbing. What is wrong with you people? And they're like, oh, you're just so sensitive. What is your problem? It takes a sensitive person to go and maybe say, hey, hold on a second, guys. This is actually a bad thing. Like, we need to realize that this is bad and fix it.
Yeah. And what I think is funny is, through observing people and learning about the Enneagram and growing up with a 4 in my house and an 8 in my house, my parents' house, is 8s and 4s are both very, very sensitive, and they both care so much. And I think 8s kind of get away with it on a different perspective because they channel all their emotions into anger, because anger is manageable. Anger is doable. It's a doable feeling. You can do something when you're angry. But I think for a lot of 8s, if you sit with that feeling long enough, you'll realize its name is disappointment. You'll realize its name is pain. It's heartache. It's sadness. And that's uncomfortable. That's painful. You can't do much with sadness for an 8. But for an 8 and a 4, people are going to look at an 8 and say you're insensitive, and they're going to look at the 4 and say you're too sensitive, where that's not really necessarily the case. And just because people are showing things differently doesn't mean that it's not coming from a very similar place.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's true. Going off of that, I don't know, you can edit this out, but it's a story. It's about Telemachus, and I keep talking about Italy, but I really liked Italy, but I knew this story for a long time before I went to Italy. But anyway, Telemachus was a monk, and he lived in Asia, and he was just a normal dude doing his little monk thing. Like, he just had his own stuff. He had his garden that he took care of. He would like pray, and he would read the Bible, and just had his chill life. But he felt like he was called to go to Rome, and so he went to Rome. He didn't know what he was doing in Rome, but he felt like he was called to go to Rome, so he went. And when he got to Rome, he was just this little dude who had never been to Rome before. This was forever ago. They didn't have the internet to look up, hey, what's Rome like? He just got there, and he was like, whoa, this is really impressive. And he got taken up in a crowd. You know, crowd mentality. You kind of are here, and all the crowd comes by, and you don't have a choice. You're going where the crowd goes. And he got taken into the Colosseum. And when he was in the Colosseum, there was a gladiator fight, and he didn't know what gladiators were, but they came up and they said, we who are about to die salute you. And he's like, what the heck does that mean? And everyone is cheering, and everyone is excited, and he doesn't understand what's going on. And then he starts seeing these gladiators killing each other down in the stadium. And he looks around him, and all of these people are cheering and so excited for the gore and the death and the blood. And they just had this horrible bloodlust, and he had never seen anything like it. And he starts going and saying, no, this is wrong. Stop this. And you've seen pictures of the Colosseum. It's massive. No one's gonna listen to you. And people were just telling him, shut up, you're causing problems, just leave it alone, you're ruining our fun. And he goes and he's like, no, this is wrong. And he ends up running into the stadium, jumping down with the gladiators, going and saying, this is not okay, we need to stop, in the name of Christ, stop, in the name of Christ, stop. And there's different accounts of the story, but either he gets killed, the Caesar orders him to be killed, or the crowd ends up stoning him.
So either way, he ends up dead.
He ends up dead. But after he's dead, the crowd realizes they had like
They
this
just
moment.
killed a monk.
Yeah, they're like, we just killed this guy for no reason. He was a good guy. He hadn't done anything wrong. He was trying to stop us from this horrible, messed up thing that we're doing. And we just killed him? And everyone left the stadium, and that was the last gladiatorial games that was ever in the Colosseum. So this sensitive person went and stopped a horrible massacre that happened to these people who were kidnapped. These gladiators were kidnapped. He saved people, and he changed the world in that.
And is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I do have one last thing that I hate about people saying force.
Okay.
We can do this
Oh,
part
one
again.
more thing about...
Yeah, one more
Okay.
thing. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Anyway, people making fun of us for being passionate. This is kind of like the last one, but if there's a cause that you care about and people are like, you're being stupid and you kind of need to chill, but no one else is doing anything about it, then do something about it. It doesn't matter. Just because they have no convictions doesn't mean you don't have to have convictions.
Yeah.
Just because they decided that they don't care and they would rather go through an easy life doesn't mean that you can't go and change the world and do what you think is right.
Yeah, and okay, so here, if people are watching this and you're wondering, am I a 9? Am I a 4? I don't know. Well, first of all, if you're wondering that, I would say 99% of the times you're going to be a 9, but that is a huge thing that is different between us. And like, I don't really feel pretty much envious over basically anything. I'm very content with life, even to a fault, and I mentioned that in like my first Finding Yourself as a 9 video.
I'm envious that she can be so contented.
But that is something that I really am, something I really admire about 4s and really about you is, like through our talks and whenever I say, you know, I've gained so much wisdom from a 4, but I don't even have enough time to mention it in this video. This is one of the things that I think is so important that I learned from Hannah, who is a 4, is, you know, seeing your impact on the world.
I don't know. It's just a thing. And as 4s, you can go and I don't know. I think a lot of people forget to be passionate, even if you know that whether you're passionate or not. I think people forget that it's even a thing. You know what I mean? A lot of us are just like, well, I mean, what kind of impact can I make? Who cares? I'm just gonna not worry about it. But you are making this video, and someone across the world who was sad and potentially suicidal decided that they were going to watch this video, and it could change their life, and then they could go change someone else's life, and then the world can be shaped and formed and ripple effects because you decided to be passionate about something and helping people, and you're making this video.
Any closing thoughts, Hannah?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What closing thoughts should I have? Should I have anything?
I don't know.
I can't think of anything. I put it all in there, but I feel like I should have closing thoughts.
All right, perfect.
Okay. All
All right. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you really enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed getting to meet Hannah. Self-preservation for Wing 3. And we'll hope to see her in a few more videos on this channel and around here. Thank you guys.
Bye.